Your quiet focus rewrites your physical blueprint permanently. The deepest, most stable shifts in who you are aren't just thoughts. They are chemical commands written directly into the code of life itself. Think of your DNA not as fixed text, but like an ancient library where environmental factors decide which books can be read and which stay locked away. When you sustain deep states of presence, that feeling of profound inner coherence, it's sending a biological signal powerful enough to literally change how your genes behave over time. This process isn't just fleeting neurochemistry, it involves long-term alterations at the level of methylation patterns, essentially making calm state an actual genomic input signal for self-stabilization. It is subjective experience achieving molecular persistence. It turns out your quietest thoughts have a physical footprint on your DNA. When we settle into deep states of inner coherence, our biology doesn't just relax, it rewrites itself over time. Think of gene regulation like dimmer switches that can be flipped by external light or by the internal energy flowing through you. Our autonomic nervous system tone acts as that subtle but persistent dial. Studies show this stability leads to long-term modifications in methylation patterns, specifically around genes crucial for learning and mood, like BDNF. Essentially, sustained calm isn't just a feeling. It's an environmental input signal telling your cells how they should operate forever after. The research shows we are doing more than just feeling calm. Our inner state is actually writing code for our cells. Think of your body like a super advanced computer where stress or peace isn't just software. It's the electrical current dictating which hardware runs and how fast. When you settle into that deep quiet, specific signals travel through your nervous system, altering chemical markers on DNA itself. This mechanism doesn't change the genes, it flips their switches. It changes accessibility, which means something nobody expected for predicting resilience before things even break. Imagine your deepest inner calm isn't just a nice feeling. It might be chemically rearranging your genetic code. What if sustained focus, that profound quiet moment you have sitting still, acts like an invisible pencil writing new instructions onto your DNA? We are talking about how our nervous system tone physically stabilizes pathways for growth and insight. It's not magic. It's a biological memory of subjective experience becoming concrete molecular architecture through mechanisms like chromatin remodeling. Yet, the actual mapping remains a black box. Some researchers argue these changes require exogenous chemical inputs only. But consider this, could intentional quiet be optimizing your biology from the inside out? If that is true, what happens when we quantify it and control it for ourselves? Think about what biological memory really is if it isn't stored in chemicals or memories, but etched into your DNA itself. This means your most intense inner states are doing more than just making you feel better right now. They could be physically wiring how your body functions long term. When focused calm happens, the signal goes from inside out. It shifts methylation patterns at gene promoter regions like BDNF regulators. It is as if a sustained moment of deep insight acts as an instruction manual for cellular life. But that initial shift in gene accessibility only begins the process. The receptor fires. But what happens next to solidify those profound changes across your entire system? The deepest quiet inside you isn't just a feeling, it's actually sending instructions to your genes. Imagine your DNA is an immense library, and those moments of deep focus are like turning the light switch on or off specific sections, making certain books readable while others stay locked away. We know this process exists. We call it epigenetic state modification driven by subjective experience. But here's the pivot. We still don't know how your internal sense of unity translates into a stable change in methylation patterns. The mechanism remains an absolute black box between consciousness and cellular life. How do you prove that inner stillness rewrites code? You have to find the missing signal. We thought profound inner stillness was just something we felt, a beautiful internal state, perhaps ephemeral like sunlight through water. But the data suggests it is much deeper than perception alone. Imagine your mood being less like a radio dial and more like a master programmer setting fundamental system architecture. Sustained shifts in our autonomic tone aren't just regulating stress. They are acting as genomic input signals. This means that deep, focused presence physically instructs your cells how to behave over time. Yet the biggest question remains, how exactly does consciousness write code? The real breakthrough is realizing your inner state isn't just an experience, it's a molecular command. Think of calm focus as biological scaffolding. It physically directs which genes get built, strengthening pathways like memory and resilience without any chemicals involved. This mechanism tells us that sustained quiet acts exactly like the deepest form of long-term learning for your DNA itself. The practical takeaway is this: actively tuning into your own physiological signals, that subtle shift in breath or heart rate, is how you begin to write new biological code volitionally. It's self-authorship at the cellular level. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com. The biggest shift in understanding isn't what our genes are made of, it's how they listen. Imagine your inner state, that feeling of quiet focus or deep calm, not just as a mood, but as an analog dial turning on your own biology. When you achieve that sustained internal coherence, you aren't just meditating, you are inputting a specific signal into the cell. You stabilize methylation patterns and encourage productive chromatin remodeling across your genome using nothing more than attention. This means volitional stillness can literally rewire how certain genes function over time. Start by seeking out states of genuine autonomic balance. Treat that coherence not as bliss, but as direct cellular instruction. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.